Well, hi everyone. We're going to focus on canceled and failed appointments today. So, everybody, in your operational tab right here under Practice IQ, we show you all the appointments that you have for this month or the time period that you have selected. So, we're looking at February of 2017 here. And this particular office has 3% failed appointments and 7% canceled appointments. Now, understanding the difference between failed and canceled appointments is extremely important. Remember, the failed appointments are the ones that no-showed. Okay, these are the people who did not show for their appointment, or these are the people who canceled last minute. Okay, we call them failed or broken appointments. And anybody who canceled last minute or didn't show up for their appointment would be considered a failed appointment. And every office has a cancellation policy. Some have 24 hours, some have 42 hours, 48 hours. Whatever is your policy, if the patient calls within those 24 or 48 hours, I would mark those appointments as failed or broken, depending on which practice management system you're using. Because these are the appointments that has the worst impact on your production or your schedule, because you cannot fill that appointment very quickly. Now, canceled appointment has a very different meaning. A canceled appointment is something that a patient called for an appointment that they had next week or the week after, and they said, I'm sorry, I cannot make it for whatever reason. Those appointments are marked as canceled appointments. Okay? These appointments are the ones that were taken off the schedule but not put back on the schedule because they were not ready to reschedule that appointment. And the third category is a category of appointments that are just rescheduled. Okay, a patient called, the appointment was next week, and they rescheduled to the week after. We do not even track those appointments because those are inconsequential appointments for us. And the last variety is deleted appointments. There is no real way for us to track it, and I would request that nobody deletes an appointment, because once an appointment is deleted, there's no way for us to know that if it even existed. Okay, so to recap, failed are the ones that no-showed or canceled last minute. Those are the ones you mark them as failed or broken. Canceled are the ones who just canceled their appointments and didn't reschedule. So looking at this particular office, 3% failed, 7% canceled. What's even more important than the failed and canceled percentages is what percentage of those appointments were reappointed. Because remember, in a lot of offices, there's a revolving door, and we have gone through that in many other examples of patients are coming through the front and they're leaving through the back. There's a patient retention issue. And not following up on your failed and canceled appointments leads to a lower patient retention. So when you do have a failed or canceled appointments, you have to make sure you call those patients back and get them back on the schedule. So this office is not doing a very good job in getting those patients back. And right here, by clicking on this little slanted arrow, gives you the list of every single failed and canceled appointments that has been scheduled or not. So if I sort by the dollar amount, here is a list of all these appointments that were productive appointments that have not been rescheduled. And it's up to you and your staff to call these patients back and get them back on the schedule. Let's look at a different office. If I go in here and I look at this office has 988 appointments, and 1% are failed and 7% are canceled. Now they have their failed appointment ratio very well under control, assuming they're marking it right. And kudos to them, they're also bringing 64% of those failed appointments back in the office to get them back on the books. Let's look at a third office right here. Now, this particular office has 7% failed appointments. Now, this is higher than normal. And I would recommend to this office to look at their scripts and see what's happening, and if they have cancellation policies, and if those cancellation policies are communicated to their patients when they're calling in. This is a very high number, and it's getting to a point where, remember, if you have an office where you see close to, you have 50 appointments, 7% adds up very fast. So keeping a control over who's failing and who's canceling, dealing with the failed appointments with a clear process will help you with keeping your schedule together, and then making sure those failed appointments and canceled appointments, the callback will help you with your patient retention as well.